The golden hues of fall painted the small town of Ravensbrück in warm tones of red, orange, and yellow. It was a picturesque setting, a place where stories were born and legends lived on. For Emma, the town was a new beginning, a fresh start away from the bustling city she once called home. Having moved just a few months ago, she had grown to appreciate the tranquility of Ravensbrück and the unique traditions that came with it. Lily, with her hazel eyes and flowing brunette hair, was the first friend Emma made in town. Their bond was instant, a connection of souls drawn together by fate or sheer coincidence. As October approached, the duo was inseparable, brimming with excitement for the upcoming Halloween festivities. One evening, as dusk settled and a cool breeze drifted through Emma's bedroom window, the two girls sat on the floor, surrounded by craft supplies. They were in the midst of carving pumpkins, a messy yet delightful ritual. "Did I ever tell you about the Headless Horseman of Ravensbrück?" Lily asked, her voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper, her eyes sparkling with mischief. Emma chuckled, wiping pumpkin guts off her hands. "No, but let me guess. He rides around town looking for his lost head." Lily smirked. "Close, but not quite. Legend says that every Halloween, the ghost of a headless rider roams these streets, searching for someone to take his place. If he finds you alone, he'll claim your head for his own and condemn your soul to wander headless for all eternity." Emma raised an eyebrow, feigning terror. "Well, remind me never to wander alone on Halloween night." Lily laughed, playfully nudging Emma with her elbow. "It's just an old tale, silly, but that's what makes Ravensbrück special. Every corner, every alley has a story." The night deepened, and the two continued to share stories, each tale more spine-chilling than the last. Yet amidst the tales of ghosts and ghouls, neither could predict that this Halloween would be unlike any other, where legends would come alive and their friendship would be put to the ultimate test. The evening culminated with two intricately carved pumpkins, one bearing a mischievous grin, and the other a look of mock horror. As the girls placed candles inside and dimmed the lights, the pumpkins came alive, their eerie glow casting dancing shadows across the room, a subtle foreshadowing of the events that were to unfold. With Halloween just days away, the anticipation was palpable. Little did they know that an age-old curse, dormant for a decade, was about to be awakened, forever changing the course of their lives. The next day dawned clear and crisp, the air laden with an electric energy that hinted at the approaching Halloween celebrations. The heart of Ravensbrück was abuzz with activity, streets lined with colourful decorations and shops displaying their spookiest merchandise. Children scampered about in early costume rehearsals, their laughter echoing through the cobblestone pathways. Emma and Lily, arm in arm, strolled through the town square, their eyes darting from one shop window to another. Their mission for the day was clear: find the most unique decorations that would make their Halloween night unforgettable. As they meandered, an unassuming shop caught Emma's attention. Nestled between a bakery and a bookstore, Edna's Antiques was a relic of the past. Its wooden sign, faded with time, swung gently in the wind, emitting a soft, rhythmic creak. The store's windows, dusty and streaked, barely showcased the myriad of artifacts inside. With a glance exchanged, the two girls stepped inside, a bell above the door announcing their arrival. The dim interior was a labyrinth of shelves, each laden with items that whispered tales of bygone eras: ornate mirrors, porcelain dolls with glassy stares, old clocks frozen in time. As they navigated the narrow aisles, Emma's fingers brushed against a cold metal object. She turned to find a beautiful lantern, its surface adorned with intricate designs of shadowy figures. The figures, though static, seemed to dance in a ghostly waltz, their forms shifting and morphing with every angle of light. "Wow," Lily breathed, her gaze fixed on the lantern. "It's captivating." Emma, equally entranced, agreed. "I've never seen anything like it. This would be perfect for our Halloween setup." But as they moved to the counter, the elderly shopkeeper, Edna, hesitated. Her eyes darted to the lantern, then back to the girls, a hint of worry clouding her features. "That old thing," she murmured. "It's been here for ages. No one's shown interest in it for years." Emma, sensing Edna's reluctance, probed, "Is there something special about it?" Edna sighed, her fingers playing with a silver locket around her neck. "Every item in this shop has a story, dear. That lantern, it has a history, one intertwined with old town legends. But perhaps they're just stories, myths from a time long past." Lily, sensing an opportunity, pressed on. "What kind of legends?" The elderly woman hesitated, then whispered, "Some say it's cursed, that on certain Halloween nights the shadows it casts aren't ordinary. But it's been years, and no tales have emerged recently." Emma, not one to be easily spooked and always up for a challenge, grinned. "Sounds like just the thing we're looking for." After a brief negotiation, Edna, albeit reluctantly, wrapped the lantern carefully in old newspaper, sealing its fate with the two girls. As they exited the store, the weight of the lantern in Emma's grasp seemed to grow heavier. The sun cast long shadows on the streets of Ravensbrook, but none as mysterious as the ones that would soon emerge from the lantern's depths. Halloween arrived with a gust of wind and an undercurrent of anticipation. Ravensbrook transformed overnight, its quaint charm replaced by eerie decorations and an atmosphere thick with mystery. Ghostly silhouettes adorned windows, skeletal remains dangled from trees, and makeshift graveyards sprouted in front yards. Emma's house was a spectacle in itself, with the lantern as the centerpiece on their porch, flanked by their carved pumpkins. Their home seemed to beckon visitors with a magnetic pull. As dusk approached, the streets filled with children donned in costumes, from classic witches and werewolves to more modern pop culture icons. "I can't believe how into Halloween this town is," Emma exclaimed, adjusting her witch's hat. She glanced at Lily, who was draped in a flowing white dress, a crown of flowers adorning her head. "You look ethereal. The spirit of Ravensbrook?" Lily giggled. "Something like that. Ready to gather some treats and maybe give out a few tricks?" The duo set out, their path illuminated by the soft glow of the lantern. As they made their rounds, they couldn't help but notice the odd reactions from their neighbours. Whispers echoed as they passed, fingers pointed discreetly at the lantern, and some even crossed the street to avoid them. "What's gotten into everyone?" Lily mused, retrieving a handful of candy from a nearby house. Emma shrugged, though she couldn't shake off the unease growing within her. Maybe they're just really into the Halloween spirit. The evening took a turn when they reached the town's oldest street, lined with towering oak trees and houses that dated back centuries. As they walked, the lantern's flames flickered erratically, casting shadows that seemed to dance and twist in ways flames shouldn't. "Do you see that?" Emma whispered, her eyes fixed on the ground beside them where the shadows writhed. Lily, her face pale, nodded. "It's like they're alive." The atmosphere grew tense. Distant laughter of children seemed muted, and the night grew colder. It was then that they encountered Mrs. Hawthorne, the town's oldest resident. Leaning heavily on her cane, she stared at the lantern with a mix of fear and recognition. "That lantern," she croaked, her voice trembling. "It shouldn't be here. Not on this night." Emma, clutching the lantern, tried to dismiss her fears. "It's just a prop, Mrs. Hawthorne. Just for some Halloween fun." The elderly woman shook her head, her eyes clouded with memories. "When I was a child, that lantern brought nothing but darkness to this town. Beware the shadows it casts. Not all will be as they seem." Feeling a chill that had nothing to do with the autumn air, Emma and Lily exchanged worried glances. The weight of the lantern and the legends surrounding it pressed down on them. The boundary between playful Halloween antics and haunting reality began to blur. As the night deepened, the true nature of the lantern became more evident. Every corner they turned, every street they ventured down, the shadows told a story that was far from over. The once cheerful atmosphere of Halloween night in Ravensbrook was now dampened by an oppressive, ominous energy. Houses that were once inviting now seemed to close their doors a tad faster. Windows were shuttered, and the streets began to empty of trick-or-treaters. Continuing their journey, Emma and Lily tried to dismiss their growing unease. But as they ventured further, it became harder to ignore the peculiar behaviour of the lantern. The shadows it cast grew darker, more defined and eerily independent of the lantern's flame. On Elm Street, a narrow alleyway between two ancient stone buildings, the unthinkable happened. The girls were taking a shortcut, their laughter echoing in the enclosed space, when the lantern's light dimmed, plunging them into near-total darkness. In the brief, suffocating silence, they heard a soft, sinister whisper, swirling around them like a cold breeze. Before they could react, a powerful, shadowy figure born from the depths of the lantern lunged at them. Lily screamed, her voice cut short as the figure ensnared her, pulling her into the lantern's ominous glow. Emma, paralysed with fear, could only watch in horror as her friend vanished before her eyes, consumed by the darkness of the lantern. Emerging from the alleyway, the weight of what transpired pressing down on her, Emma was met with the startled faces of townsfolk who had witnessed the chilling event from a distance. The entire town was abuzz with whispered conversations and frantic discussions. It seemed Ravensbrook's legend of the cursed lantern was no mere tale. It was a nightmarish reality. Townspeople, young and old, congregated in the town square. Mr. Porter, the local historian, stepped forward, his usually cheerful face now ashen. "The lantern," he began, his voice quivering, "has claimed another victim, just as it did decades ago. We thought the curse was broken, but we were mistaken." Emma, tears streaming down her face, clutched the accursed lantern. "There has to be a way to bring Lily back," she choked out, her voice filled with desperation. Mrs. Hawthorne, her frailty forgotten in the face of the crisis, spoke up. "There might be a way, but it won't be easy. The shadowy entity within the lantern is powerful, and will not release its captive without a fight." Emma, fueled by determination and guilt, looked up, her gaze fierce. "Tell me what I need to do. I won't let this thing keep Lily." And so, as the clock tower chimed midnight, marking the halfway point of Halloween night, Emma, armed with the knowledge and support of the townspeople, set out to confront the darkness, determined to reclaim her friend and put an end to the curse of the shadow lantern once and for all. Under the guidance of Mrs. Hawthorne and with the gathered knowledge of Mr. Porter, Emma began preparations for the ritual to challenge the entity inside the lantern and save Lily. The town square became the focal point, as the ritual had to be conducted where the energy of Ravensbrook was strongest. A large circle was drawn in chalk, with intricate runes and symbols etched at specific intervals. The townsfolk, holding hands, formed an outer circle, their combined energy creating a protective barrier. At the centre of the circle stood Emma, clutching the lantern, her face a mask of determination. Mrs. Hawthorne, her voice unwavering, began to chant, guiding Emma through the steps. "Recall your bond, the memories, the love you share. Let the light of your heart pierce the darkness that holds Lily captive." Emma closed her eyes, focusing on her memories with Lily, their shared laughter, secrets, and dreams. The warmth of their friendship began to radiate from her, casting a soft glow. The lantern, sensing this powerful light, began to react. Its flame flickered wildly, shadows writhing and contorting, attempting to break free. The entity, a mass of dark tendrils, emerged from the lantern, a silent scream escaping its formless mouth. It lunged at Emma, but the protective circle and the combined willpower of the townsfolk held it at bay. Emma, channeling all her strength and emotion, shouted, "Lily, fight it! I'm here for you!" The lantern's glow intensified, becoming blindingly bright. From within the depths of the shadow entity, a faint light began to emerge, growing steadily brighter. Lily's voice, weak but filled with resolve, echoed through the square. "Emma, I can hear you. Help me." The town joined in, their voices rising in a unified chant, their words a mantra of hope and light. The entity, overwhelmed and weakening, began to dissipate, its hold on Lily loosening. With one final resounding cry from Emma, the entity was banished, its remnants sucked back into the lantern, which then shattered into a million pieces. From the dissipating darkness, Lily emerged, dazed but unharmed, collapsing into Emma's waiting arms. The night, which had been fraught with terror and uncertainty, now echoed with cheers and relief. The curse of the lantern was broken, its malevolent power destroyed by the unyielding bond of friendship and the combined strength of a community. As dawn approached, Emma and Lily, hand in hand, walked back home, their journey a testament to the indomitable spirit of love and friendship. Ravensbrook once again was a town of legends, but this time it was a tale of hope and triumph over darkness. The first rays of dawn painted Ravensbrook in hues of gold and rose, casting away the remnants of the haunting night. The townsfolk, weary but relieved, began to make their way home, their steps lightened by the knowledge that the curse which had haunted their town was now a thing of the past. Emma and Lily, having barely slept, sat on Emma's porch, wrapped in blankets, cups of hot cocoa in their hands. The remnants of the shattered lantern lay scattered on the ground, a stark reminder of the ordeal they had faced. Lily, her eyes reflecting the tumult of emotions she felt, whispered, "I can't believe we made it through. It felt so real, so dark." Emma squeezed her hand. "We made it because we faced it together, and with the whole town by our side. Darkness doesn't stand a chance against united strength." Lily smiled weakly. "You always did have a way with words, but thank you, Emma, for not giving up on me." The two friends sat in comfortable silence, watching the sunrise, the beauty of the moment contrasting with the memories of the harrowing night. The peace was only broken by the arrival of Mrs. Hawthorne, her frail form now seeming much stronger in the morning light. "You two," she began, a twinkle in her eyes, "have rewritten Ravensbrook's history. The legend of the cursed lantern will now always be followed by the tale of two brave girls who stood against it." Emma and Lily exchanged smiles, their bond stronger than ever. As the days turned into weeks, the story of that fateful Halloween night became the talk of Ravensbrook. While some details faded, others were embellished, turning the tale into a mix of myth and reality. The town returned to its peaceful ways, but with a newfound appreciation for the bonds that held the community together. Halloween, once a night of fun and frolic, now also stood as a symbol of resilience and unity for Ravensbrook. Emma and Lily, forever changed by their experience, grew even closer. Their friendship, tested by darkness and solidified by light, became a beacon for others. They often recounted their tale, not as a warning, but as an inspiration. And so, in the heart of Ravensbrook, amidst the echoes of legends past, a new story was born. A story that began with a cursed lantern on Halloween night and ended with the promise of a new dawn.